please put your hands together for the president of the Detroit Federation of Teachers, Lakia Wilson-Lumpkins.
Good afternoon. Giving honor to God, who was the head of my life, I am Lakia Wilson-Lumpkins, president of the mighty Detroit Federation of Teachers, local number 231. I'm here this evening to talk to you about the important work that educators and those like educators, such as RNs, firemen, electricians, and other public service workers do that make up this great labor movement. We work around the clock, planning, sacrificing, and fighting against the powers that would rather we and those like we serve. They would rather that we just simply go without. I am proud to be here representing educators from the largest school district in Michigan. Representing over 5,000 educators who plan for instruction, educators who go back to school to learn advanced degrees, bringing new interventions in pedagogy, educators who research to bring best practices and new trends in education to the classroom, educators who also shop for snacks because kids are hungry, educators who buy Band-Aids because kids get scrapes and bruises, educators who buy undergarments because kids have accidents, but most importantly, educators who open their hearts and their minds to listen to our students and what they are dealing with when they are dealing with the weight of the world, because what is theirs and their parents or their siblings and their parents' shoulder, they do too. All of this educators do in addition to teaching, providing the best instruction. But at this point in our nation's time, what we are witnessing is a reconstruction period. When voting rights, women's rights, health care, food, and even books are being cut. Freedoms hard fought and won. Freedoms that thousands cried, bled, and died for. It is crucial now more than ever that educators fight on the front line with our friends, allies, and champions of students, friends, allies, and champions of public education, friends, allies, and champions of a fully funded Department of Education. Yes. Friends and allies of the labor movement. It is each and every last one of us. We will develop the next generations of critical thinkers, problem solvers, doctors, lawyers, and even legislators. Friends gathered here, we all agree there is a coordinated attack not only on public education, but on the middle class and the essential services that we provide, which is why we are here in support of our bestest friends, allies, and champions, such as Senator Bernie Sanders, yes, who has a strong record of fighting for public K-12 education, focusing on increasing teacher salaries, dismantling high-stakes testing, and limiting the expansion of for-profit charter schools. We are also excited to support candidates for Senate Abdul El-Sayed, McKinney. Because they understand the struggle of workers against the billionaire class. Senator Bernie Sanders is consistent. His record is proven, and it is lifelong. I'm a teacher, so I love to talk. So I'm excited to be here today with Senator Bernie Sanders and candidate for Senate Abdul El-Sayed and candidate for Congress Donovan McKenny. I got some instructions for you because I am a teacher. Repeat after me. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. When I say people, you say power. People, power. People, power. Student, power. Student, power. Parent, power. People, power. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Ooh, I like it. We ready. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing to all of you Dan Glass, who is the president of Teamsters Local 232.
Who are we? Who are we? All right, Detroit, here we are. As Lakia said, I'm Dan Glass, President, Teamsters Local 332, in the second strongest union city in the state, Flint. There you go. Quick shout out, Senator Sanders, our friend Abdul, for the invite out here to allow me to 3 minutes. Hopefully, I won't go more than like 6, but give an opportunity to talk about what's going on with Henry Ford Genesis in Grand Blanc with our 650 nurses that are still on strike. There they are. There they are. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you all for that, man. That means a lot, guys. Hey, I'm going to run through it, and then I've got a couple things I want to ask you, and then at the very end, kind of to match what we just did, I want you guys all to say as loud as you can. So, September 1st, Labor Day 2025, we initiated a ULP strike against Henry Ford Genesis for something that really should just be a basic. We shouldn't have to bargain over ratios. Nurse to patient ratios. Everybody in this room, right? We shouldn't have to bargain for an employer to staff a hospital that is here to serve the communities. But here we are, 245 days later, fighting over a basic right, which should be safe staffing and patient care that these highly trained nurses were trained to do. So we're not stopping until that fight's over, right? Exactly. 245 days, guys. Think about that. Think what you've done in the last 8 months. Meanwhile, these nurses, September, oppressive heat, horrible winter, hospital filing restraining orders against us. We're moving our tents, taking away the basic things just to push us out, right? Horrible winter, almost got a deal done in February, only for the employer to look at us and say, you can have this contract, but we want to replace your nurses. They can have a job, yeah. They can have a job, but not their job, because we want to stay loyal to these nurses that have been with us through the strike. 1 and 2 months. Horrendous, bullshit, and we are not going back until their jobs are given back to them. I'm going to be running over on time, so I'm going to have to figure this out. All right, guys, listen. So what I want to tell you is a quick story that happened 27 days into our strike that shows you that it's not about a labor dispute. This shows the dedication that an RN has towards exactly what we're fighting for, the community, the patients. September 28th, 27 days after we started this strike, we had the worst tragedy that's happened in Grand Blanc community in history. We had a lone driver pull through the front of a Church of Latter-day Saints, light the church on fire, and then open fire on the people inside. At that moment, our nurses, less than a mile down the road, without hesitation, their instincts kicked in, their training kicked in. They laid their picket sides down, ran to the church, ran to the movie theater that was reunifying the families, and were able to help. They triaged. They were shoulders to cry on. They did what they're trained to do. This is where we realize how bad Henry Ford's health system really is. A group of nurses ran and drove up the almost mile-long driveway to the emergency room. Came busting in the emergency room and said, "Doesn't matter what's going on out here. Human lives mean more than our labor dispute. How can we help?" Brand new travel nurses in the ER, never been in that hospital before. Our nurses went, looked eye to eye with them and said, "Labor dispute doesn't matter, caring for these patients matters." Only to be told by Henry Ford, "Nope, we're good. We're good. I know you've been in this hospital 30 years, but you can't possibly do what a replacement nurse can do." Exactly. At that moment, everyone, that's when we knew this was more than just a contract dispute. This is a complete union bust by the largest employer in the state of Michigan. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. We will not bend to Henry Ford Health because they don't have unions. They will accept us, and then they're gonna accept the fact the other 18,000 RNs will be organized. We will organize every Henry Ford facility in the state of Michigan. All right, two things I need to ask real quick. One, when you walk out of here, today, tomorrow, next week, share our story. Call on Henry Ford to do the right thing. Make phone calls, emails. Tell them you will not bring your hard-earned healthcare insurance to their facilities until they settle this strike with our nurses up in Grand Blanc. That is an absolute must. Get to know these nurses. Find out who they are. Share their stories. We're all over social media. Keep pounding Henry Ford. Lastly, we have 6 words that we live by on this strike line starting 245 days ago. We go by the phrase, one day longer, one day stronger. So, what I'm gonna do, I want you guys to finish the one day stronger part. And I need it as loud as you can. Everybody recording, get it? Let's get it on. We will not back down to Henry Ford. We will not be beat by them. They will recognize us. They will give the ratios we need because this workforce is always willing to go one day longer. One day stronger. Yeah! Thank you all. Great job, you guys. All right. We got to move on to the second part of the healthcare discussion here. Very proud to introduce the next person. President, National Nurses United, Jamie Brown.
Senator of my home state, Michigan, Abdul El-Sayed. this agenda. Our patients, our hospitals, and the communities we work in have all been targeted by this administration. Trump and Republicans gutted health care programs like Medicaid, all to fund the billionaire tax breaks and ICE terror. Now, hundreds of our hospitals are at risk of service cuts or closures, and we will not stand by. Nurses are ready to put an end to this fascist regime. Nurses are organizing across the country. At the beginning of this year, NNU launched a Red Alert Save Our Hospital tour. We are building community power to reverse healthcare cuts, protect our life-saving hospitals, and create a future that works for everyone with Medicare for all and more. Nurses have a vision for a healthy society, one where everyone has the right to health, the right to safe and affordable housing, the right to a unionized living wage job, and the right to live safely and peacefully and more. But Trump and the billionaire class do not want that. For decades, politicians and their corporate buddies have concluded to rig the economy and the political system against working people. As the rich get richer, our patients and community face medical and student loan debt, housing insecurity, decreased life expectancies, and now ICE agents turning our own neighborhoods into war zones. It doesn't have to be this way. We can build a future that works for everyone. We can use our collective power to stop billionaires and corporations from taking over our government and hoarding wealth. And people around the country are organizing. Just this past Friday, tens of thousands of people were on the streets on May Day. They were marching and picketing, finding their political and organizing home. Our movement is growing. We are proving that we will not back down, and the billionaire class is scared. Let's get to work, continue to show up, and get organized. Nurses are in this fight with you, because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Now I'd like to pass it over to Representative Donovan McKenny.
It's such an honor to be here. You all are beautiful, I gotta say that. And thank you all for coming here and spending your Sunday with us. I do have to say this, my name is Donovan McKinney. Yes. I'm a state representative right now, and I'm running to be your next congressman in Michigan's mighty 13th district. And I can't do this work not only without you all that's supporting us, but without my family. And I got to give a shout out to my amazing wife who's with us today. And y'all might not know about my wife, but it's her birthday today. Yes. And if everybody can join with me in saying happy birthday, Shantae. Oh, that's my rock, that's my forever love, and I'm forever grateful for all of her love and support. Now, my wife and I, those who don't know our background, my wife and I, we have 3 beautiful children, ages 4 and younger. I know, right? Thank her for allowing me to hold a state rep position and run for a bigger office. Our children, Donovan, who recently turned 4 in January, Robert, our middle son, who just turned 2 on Valentine's Day, and our baby girl, who runs the whole show. Her name is Nyla, and she recently turned 8 months old. And it is something about having kids, especially in this day and age. It is hard to raise a family right now in this economic crisis we're living in. Am I right? I don't care how old you are, taking care of another human being, including yourself, is hard work. Isn't that right? And so we're struggling to make ends meet day to day, and we have a 2-income household. And our salaries are public. I make $71,000 a year as a state rep. And I'm still struggling. I represent right now the poorest House district in the state of Michigan. $14,000 is the median income of my current district. And I'm running for Congress to represent the top 5 poorest congressional district in the nation. Right here, Detroit, the metro area, the Grosse Points, all the way downriver to wind down to Southgate, all the way western Wayne County, Romulus and Wayne. That whole geographical area, about 800,000 people. And we're the top 5 poorest district in the nation. And you got to think about it. If I'm struggling to make ends meet day to day, just imagine what somebody who not only make less than me, but who don't live in a 2-income household. I got folks who live in our district, and I'm sure in your own families, probably even you, that are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling, not even making ends meet, but barely scraping by. Is that right? Yeah. Are we fed up? Yeah. And so we are calling on an agenda, a progressive agenda. But let me tell you this, a progressive agenda, don't put us in a category. A progressive agenda is a common sense agenda. Am I right? It's common sense. We live in the wealthiest country in the world, and we can't even take care of our loved ones, our children. Now, for my oldest son, we pay more in child care than we do in our mortgage. For sending one child to child care full time. That ain't right. That ain't right. And so I'm calling on a progressive agenda. We're saying, hey, it's common sense to push for universal child care in our country. It's common sense. Now, those who don't know my background, I grew up right here in the city of Detroit. I grew up with my mom, my brother, and my grandmother. And we moved over 13 times across this city. Spent the vast majority of my life on the northeast Detroit. So any east siders in the room, make some noise. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Power to the east side, I love that. But we didn't know where our next meal was going to come from. Oftentimes we stayed in cars, we stayed in shelters, sometimes on the street. But there was no shortage of prayers and love to get us through those tough times. And my amazing mother, she would not be here with us today if it wasn't for the Affordable Care Act. Yeah, y'all can make some noise for that. My mom got diagnosed with brain tumors as I was studying in undergrad at the University of Michigan. Go Blue. We're national champs, baby. No matter what they say, we coming for that football title too. I can't wait. Ohio State, watch out. But she got diagnosed. I remember getting that call. And she said, hey, I got to have emergency brain surgery. Because fortunately, she had tumors, benign, not cancerous. However, it was growing inside of her brain. And if they did not do emergency surgery, she had the possibility, a strong possibility, of not being here with us today. And so that's why I'm a big proponent, alongside, and I'm so honored to share this stage with Senator Bernie Sanders, who's been pushing and fighting and one of our champions for Medicare for All for a long time. And also the brother who wrote the book, Medicare for All. Y'all make some noise for Dr. Abdul El-Sayed. Like I said before, these are common sense policies. We want to ensure whether you have a pre-existing condition or not, whether you have a special needs or not, that your needs are met, your needs are taken care of through a single payer system we call Medicare for All. And we can pay for it in this country, am I right? Come on. But we can't get any of this, things that our communities, the people we love, absolutely deserve, unless we do something great, which is to get all big corporate money out of our politics. And so you're looking at a state rep that co-authored last term and led the effort alongside my brother, State Rep Dylan Wagela out of Garden City, Inkster area. We led the legislation called Taking Back Our Power, which bans all corporate monopoly money out of our politics here in our state of Michigan. Now, because of the politics right now, we can't get that done through the legislature. However, there's organizers and people on the ground like you all in the audience right now that have come together and said, you know what, Donovan, we can't do it in the legislature, but guess what? We can put it on the ballot. So before you leave here today, make sure you sign the Mop It Up Michigan ballot initiative to get money out of politics here in our state. Make sure you do that before you leave here today. Because when we fight, and we're going to win this effort, I'll tell you that. And when you guys send us to D.C. and Congress, as your next congressman, I promise you this, on day one, I will sign on to the effort that Bernie Sanders, Congresswoman Summer Lee, they're leading the fight to overturn Citizens United. We can do that. We can do that right now, today. And that's why we have pledged in this campaign not to take a dime of corporate PAC money, because we always want to put the people first, because you all deserve it. Don't we deserve better? And so we're calling on better, we're fighting for better together. And it's just, it's amazing, because this is what grassroots is all about. This is what movement building is all about. And before I came up on this stage, I greeted many of you in the crowd. And you all give me so much hope. Because there's days I want to wake up. You wake up to your smartphone, you get on social media, and all you see is hate and division. And I'm tired of seeing that. Aren't you guys tired of that? and you just want to curl up into a ball and you want to give up. But we cannot afford to give up in this moment. Because our kids and our grandkids and future generations are going to look back to this moment in time. And they're going to ask the question, did we give up? Or did we fight for a better world? And so I'm asking you all to fight alongside with us. Fight alongside Senator Bernie Sanders. Fight alongside Dr. Abdul El-Sayed. Fight alongside your next Congressman, Donovan McKinney. Fight alongside your Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib. We cannot do this without your help. And so we need every single one of you all. It's the 3 T's, I like to call it, to give a little bit of your time, a little bit of your treasure, and a little bit of your talent. And whatever you do, do not lose hope. Understand your voice and your power. And understand this, when we come together, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So with that being said, I want to bring up somebody special. This brother and I been rocking together for years now. When he lost his 2018 campaign for governor, he did not leave the movement. He started an organization called Southpaw, Michigan. How many people heard about that? And he used his organization to endorse candidates, progressive candidates like myself, like Aisha Faruqi, who are running for state rep, who's now running for Congress. And he utilized his organization to make the world a better place through the state legislature. And he told me, he's like, I'm not done, when he was doing this work. And he said, you know what, Donovan, you're going to get there, but I'm going to get there too. And earlier this week, we did something amazing. We did a cross endorsement of each other. And we also have something else in common. We got the endorsement of the amazing Senator Bernie Sanders. But this man, once elected, will be probably one of the few doctors, if not only, maybe the #1 doctor we have in the U.S. Senate. And so, I like to say this before I bring him up, that our world has a lot of ills in it. There's crises happening every single day. It's like drinking water out of a fire hose. But we need a doctor's diagnosis of what's happening. We need that tender, loving care that a doctor can provide, a good doctor that can provide. And so without further ado, I'd like to bring up my brother, your next U.S. Senator, Dr. Abdul El-Sayed. Y'all make some noise.
Changes. Can a brother get a little peace? It's more Thank you. Thank you. Y'all too kind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Money out of? Money in your? Medicare for? There it is. Must be an Abdul and Bernie Sanders rally. And I want to thank my brother, Donovan McKinney, next congressman from this great state. I also got to thank my sister. Where is she? I got to thank my sister, Rashida Tlaib. Been fighting that fight. And y'all got to hear from the indomitable president of the Detroit Federation of Teachers, President Wilkins Lumpkins. I gotta tell you, we know we're doing okay when the nurses show up, and the nurses have shown up in droves. I gotta tell you, there is no group of people that shows up like nurses. They're the folks who show up for you on your worst day and show up for you on your best day. And for the past more than a year now, they've been showing up for a fair contract in Flint, and they deserve a fair contract. Can I ask all of my union nurses to stand up here, please? All of my union nurses. We stand with you, and we'll keep standing with you. President Glass, thank you so much for your leadership, and of course, the indomitable President Brown of the National Nurses United, right here in our backyard. Thank you for your leadership. Been carrying the fight for Medicare for all now for years. Thank you. So, I'm gonna get to the rest of my speech, and I'm gonna take this jacket off, but there's a couple of points of business I have to get to. The first one is Detroit basketball. In case you didn't know, the Pistons just won Game 7. It's a good year for Detroit, y'all. The second one is this. Y'all know AIPAC is coming for my face. So, we've got to be able to push back. And you all know where they're coming. They're coming on TV. You're about to see all kinds of 30-second ads, and they're all going to be me, but there's going to be one crucial difference. They're going to give me the beard of my dreams. See, I don't know what happened, but my dad, I got to call him out. Bubba, stand up. Y'all see that beard? That's the beard I should have. But neither me nor my brother inherited that beard. We can't figure out why. It makes no sense. We have two different moms and one dad. Anyway, so we got to get to some business because they need me to read some lines from this stage, and they need you all to go nuts over them, all right? So I got to get through my business so we can make some ads and we can push back on AIPAC and show them that I actually do have a trash beard. All right. You guys, I need you guys to hold until I get to all right? On this line. And then when I get to all, y'all go nuts. You ready? This campaign will take on the powerful with 3 simple ideas: money out of politics, money in your pocket, and Medicare for all. All right, y'all great. You guys, all right, we got more lines. All right, we're gonna take the last part of that again, all right? I know, they told me I had to play director from the stage. I was like, this is a new one. Ready? Money out of politics, money in your pocket, and Medicare for all. That's right. That's right. All right, these ones don't need to be so intense, all right? I know how great we once were and how great we can yet be. I grew up as Michigan as it gets. Parents worked in automotive, played football, went to U of M, became a doctor to help people. Rebuilt Detroit's health department alongside Detroiters, working together to help folks. Rebuilt Detroit's health department alongside Detroiters after politicians scrapped it. Put glasses on thousands of kids for free, erased medical debt to the tune of $700 million. All right, guys, jump the gun on this one. I gotta get through the line. Put glasses on thousands of kids' faces, erased $700 million of medical debt, and got lead out of schools. I'm not a politician, I'm a doctor. I'm the only candidate running for U.S. Senate who's never taken a dime from a corporation to run a campaign. I'm the only one for Medicare for all. I'm the only one to abolish ICE. I'm the only candidate for U.S. Senate who hasn't taken a dime of corporate money and never will. Only one who is for Medicare for all, and the only one who's for abolishing ICE. All right, now it's time for the business. Love you all. You're too kind. All right. Who here believes in Medicare for all? And who believes it's time to abolish ICE? And who believes we got to get money out of politics and in your pocket? My name is Abdul El-Sayed, and I endorse this message. Listen, y'all, it just shouldn't be this hard. Shouldn't be this hard to afford a second bag of groceries. Should not be this hard in the richest, most powerful country in the world to get your kid to a doctor. Shouldn't be this hard to pay your taxes and know that that money is going to be spent on you and your kids instead of dropping bombs on other people and their kids. Shouldn't be this hard. Should not be this hard. Now, I never intended to be a politician. My parents gave me an 11-letter first name that's got sounds that come out of parts of people's throats they don't know they got. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor because I could go 15 hours to my family's native Egypt. Or I could go 15 minutes from where I grew up right here into the city of Detroit. And either way, I would cross a 10-year difference in life expectancy. And I don't believe it should matter the color of your skin. I don't believe it should matter what you do for work. I don't believe it should matter your paycheck. I believe you deserve to have a long, healthy life in these United States of America. I went off to the University of Michigan with that goal, went off to medical school. In my last year of medical school, I'm finally doing the work that doctors do, which is about asking and answering two questions. What's wrong, and how can I help? And too often, the answer to what was wrong had less to do with all that physiology we studied and so much more to do with pathologies in our politics. The air we breathe, the water we drink, whether or not you can walk in your community without being the victim of violence, whether or not you can see a doctor in the first place. And I realized that I wanted to solve those problems. So when all my classmates and I, we graduated medical school, they went off to residency, and I went into public health. Got the opportunity to rebuild Detroit's health department, working alongside Detroiters. We put glasses on thousands of kids' faces for free. We took on some of the biggest corporate polluters in our entire state. We forced Marathon Petroleum, not too far from here, poisoning our kids with their pollution, to invest $10 million of their own money to reduce emissions when they had wanted to increase them. After Flint, we had every school, daycare, and Head Start tested for lead in the water. First 68 schools we tested, 19 tested positive for lead. Shane helped to rewrite our state's lead policies after Flint. I led Wayne County's Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. And in case anybody's told you I don't have governing experience, I led a $175 million agency with 550 employees in government. And we did big things. We put air quality monitors all over our county so folks knew the quality of air they were breathing. We built a program to provide free health insurance for new small businesses. We put Narcan, life-saving anti-overdose medication, in 100 locations for free. And when we found out that our county ranked number 8 for medical debt nationwide, $700 million of medical debt, and that we could eliminate it for pennies on the dollar, guess what we did? We set aside $7 million to erase up to $700 million of medical debt. 300,000 families. Now, this is not my first rodeo. I didn't know if I was going to get to ever run for office again. And I'm never going to forget the day, sitting in my office in Wayne County, the day the narcissist in that White House decided to freeze federal funds. Y'all remember that? I'm reviewing all the items in my budget. WIC, food on the table for moms and babies, federally qualified health centers, the last line of health care for people who can't get it, vaccines, all frozen. And I get a notification to my phone that after his long career, our current U.S. Senator Gary Peters is retiring and he's not seeking re-election. And I want to put you in my mind right then and there. The first thing that I thought was, where is the fight for the public's health now? I'd be the first Democratic doctor elected to the U.S. Senate since 1969 if I were elected. And if you've ever looked at RFK Jr. and asked what the F is going on, I think we probably could use one of those right now. And then I get a text message from our sister Rashida, Habibi, this one looks like yours. And that's because I ran for governor back in 2018. I had no clue what I was doing. 32 years old, never run for office in my life. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go big or go home. I went big, then I went home. But we earned 340,000 votes from folks like you, folks who believed in something. And I said something at the time that folks weren't quite ready to hear. And that's that Donald Trump is not himself the disease of our politics. He's just the worst symptom of the disease. The disease is the system that allows billionaires, big corporations, special interests like AIPAC to buy and sell politicians to do their bidding instead of ours. We pay more for all the stuff we gotta buy, get paid less for the work we do, and watch our tax dollars get misappropriated abroad to drop bombs on other people when they should be spent on our own. So we're running a campaign to do three things. Money out of? Pocket. Money in your? Pocket. Medicare for? All. Let's talk a little bit about that. I am the only candidate running for U.S. Senate who has never taken a dime from a corporation to run a campaign and never will. So hear you me. We are going to ban corporate contributions in our politics. We are going to end the super PACs and the 501c4s and all the systems that they use to corrupt our politics, and we'll bring it back to the people. We got to stand with unions again. Unions again. Unions that gave us the middle class. Unions that built the 40-hour work week. Unions that made sure our kids go to schools like this instead of going to work. We got to stand with our union sisters and brothers again, empower unions in every sector of American life. And I think it is high past time that somebody not named Bernie Sanders decides to stand up to some billionaires, don't you think? And let me tell you what that means. I think we need to tax billionaires their wealth. Because if you're a billionaire and I tax you at 8%, you know what you still are? You're still a billionaire. Your kids are going to be rich. Maybe you could spend a little bit. You've already won at capitalism so that all of our kids could get to go to good schools. And it means in the richest, most powerful country in the whole world, medical debt shouldn't exist. I'm proud of the work we did to end it, but let's end it nationwide and finally buy people out of medical debt by passing Medicare for all. Now, when you're a doctor, and you come up with a program to say, put glasses on kids' faces or eliminate medical debt, you know what they come out and tell you? But doctor, how are you going to pay for that? You know what they never ask a general drawing up war plans to bomb Iran? General, how are you going to pay for that? And I'll tell you this, take me to the U.S. Senate and I'm going to be asking General, how are you going to pay for that? We spent $25 billion on this war in Iran nobody in the United States asked for. Just so you understand, we could eliminate all the medical debt in the whole country for $2.5 billion. Now, we're at a high school, so we're going to do some math. We could abolish the medical debt in this country 10 times over for what we spent on a war we should have never fought. And I really wish people asked, General, how the hell are you going to pay for that? It turns out the way they're going to pay for that is to make sure that we never get the schools we deserve. We never get the health care we deserve. To gut things like Medicaid, come from Medicare and Social Security. That's how they intend to pay for that. And I think it is high past time we said enough is enough. Now, there is one person who has wanted us to fight this fight for the past 40 years, but he is not an American citizen. He is the leader of a foreign government. Benjamin Netanyahu has been searching for 40 years to find a president dumb enough to go to war with Iran. And he finally found one in the form of Donald J. Trump. But ask yourself why a foreign prime minister gets to dictate the foreign policy of the richest, most powerful country in the whole world. There is one reason why. A super PAC called APAC that is getting ready to drop $20 million on this race to try and dictate a world where that keeps happening. I want to be clear about something crystal clear. APAC and Israel are not the same as Judaism and the Jewish people. I love Judaism and I love the Jewish people. I venerate Judaism and I venerate the Jewish people. I stand with Judaism and I stand with the Jewish people. And the single most dangerous thing that they've tried to tell us is that somehow they can extend the definition of anti-Semitism to include a foreign government and its leaders. I call bullshit. No. No. If you believe that anti-Semitism extends to include a foreign government and AIPAC, you are creating a dangerous circumstance. So it is important for us to recognize that we love Judaism and the Jewish people because we love people. And we love Palestinians and their rights because we love people. And we love that our tax dollars get spent here, on schools here, and healthcare here, because we love people. You cannot claim that human rights end at a border. You cannot claim that you want to invest in our kids when you send our money abroad to kill other people's kids. You cannot claim it. And I'll finish here. I got to meet with a group of teachers yesterday, the American Federation of Teachers. President Wilson Lumpkins, see you. She was there. I want you to imagine you're working at a school like this one, and you take all your days to try and take care of the kids in that school. And then another government employee tries to violate the sanctity of this safe space you created for kids because they want to detain one of your students or your students' parents. They want to tell us that ICE is about immigration. They want to tell us that ICE is about the southern border. Now, I went to Minneapolis at the height of Project Metro Surge, and you know how cold it was there? -2 degrees, and I thought to myself, damn, this is not the southern border. I'm a public school educated kid, I learned maps, and I was like, we're pretty damn far away from the southern border. Why are they in Minneapolis? It turns out that ICE is about something far crueler. ICE is about normalizing putting government thugs on our streets against the Constitution itself. And maybe it's because I ran government agencies, but I can tell you that once a culture of impunity sets in, there is no reform. What do you tell an agent who used a child as bait? I mean, can you imagine the PowerPoint slide that you'd have to design? No, don't take the kid. You cannot reform this. You cannot retrain this. The only logical path is to abolish ICE. I'm sure you've heard, I can't win this race. I got the wrong name. I got the wrong color skin. My family comes from the wrong places. I pray the wrong way. My beard's too weak. But I'll tell you this. People like to dissect you when you're a candidate for office, but you spend a lot more time thinking about everyone else. While people look at me, I get the privilege of looking at you. I get to see you in all of your glorious diversity, all over the state. The best thing about training as a doctor was that people brought you the gift of their vulnerability because they thought you could do something about it. And the best thing about running for office is exactly the same. Across the various communities I've been in, living rooms in Grand Rapids or VFW halls in Escanaba or churches in Detroit, people bring that to you, that gift of bearing their soul and their pain and hoping that you could do something about it. Now, I've never fully belonged to any one tribe. I was raised by my father, an Egyptian immigrant, my stepmom, Jackie, a daughter of the American Revolution. I grew up in a family where I'd spend some of my summers in Egypt and then another part of my summer in a cottage on a lake in Montcalm County, Michigan. I remember having to explain one of my grandmothers to the other grandmother. And here's the thing about it. When your grandmother gives you a kiss on the forehead, tells you she loves you, makes you your favorite meal, it is done with the exact same love. And in the ensuing 8 years, I've had the privilege of having my own children. And I've come to understand that vulnerability you feel when you look your own kids in the eye and you ask, what is the future for you? My little girls and my incredible wife, Sarah, are here. Ethnically, my girls are half Egyptian like me, half Indian like their mom, or they got their looks, you can see. 100% American. Growing up in America. They're growing up in an America where I'm afraid that they have fewer rights than their immigrant grandparents had when they moved here. Grandparents who took a bet on a set of ideals. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men, should say people, are created equal. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And I know I'm not the right candidate, but I also know I'm not going to stand up at a stage like this and tell you what you cannot have because some corporation said so, and what you should not fight for because their politicians told you you couldn't. So I think over the last couple of months they learned something about this movement. When they tell us that we cannot show up and fight for health care, we don't back down. When they tell us that we just had to make good with ICE on our streets, we don't back down. When they tell us that we can't get corporations out of our politics, we don't back down. When they tell us that unions should just disempower and sit down, we don't back down. And when they tell us that we cannot have a future we want to pass on to our kids, we don't back down. So with that, it is a privilege and an honor to get to introduce a gentleman who has never backed down. Y'all, I'm 41 years old. I like to think of myself as like a middle-aged man. He's been more consistent before I was ever born. People are like, Abdul, why do you think that this movement's surviving? I was like, well, consistency. I've been saying the same thing for the better part of a decade. And then I thought about myself, man, he's been saying the same thing for a better part of a century. The man I'm going to introduce, who needs no introduction, is the reason that Medicare for All sits on our lips when we worry about how we're going to pay our deductible. He is the reason why we recognize that you could run on and win a politics where we got money out of politics. He is the reason why we never back down when it comes to union rights. He's the reason why we understand that we don't have to bend over backwards when a general tells us that we've just got to go to war. And he is the reason why, when I thought about running for this seat, I traveled to Washington, D.C. And I said, Senator, I'm thinking about this race. He said, Abdul, that's good. Very good. I told him, I can't do this without you. And he said, okay. This is not his first rodeo. It's not even his first visit to Michigan this cycle. And we know it's not going to be his last. So please, a big, loud Detroit welcome for the OG himself, Senator Bernie Sanders!
Thank you, Detroit! You are a loud crowd. Let me thank Samuel C. Mumford High School for allowing us to use the venue. Let me thank Steph Chura for the music. Let me thank Lakia Wilson-Lumpkins, who is head of the Detroit Federation of Teachers. And let me tell you, we got to support our teachers like never before. We thank Dan Glass with the Teamsters, Jamie Brown with the National Nurses United. Let's make sure that Representative Donovan McKinney makes it to the House. And let me thank Rashida Tlaib for all the great work she has done over the years. And last but not least, in a moment of national crisis, we need leaders in Washington who have the guts to take on the political establishment of both political parties. To take on the oligarchs and the economic establishment. That's why we need Dr. Abdul El-Sayed in the Senate. What I want to do is to chat a little bit about stuff that you're not going to see on corporate media and you're not going to hear much about in the halls of Congress. And that is, we are living in an unprecedented moment in American and world history. And by the way, it goes beyond Donald Trump. And the challenges that we face and the decisions that we make will impact not only our lives, not only our kids, but the entire planet and future generations. In other words, whether we like it or not, we are living in a pivotal moment in American and world history. That's the reality of it. And the lesson of that is, you know, I know people get overwhelmed and we all get tired and we turn on the TV and we see Trump doing one or another crazy things, and kind of despair and hopelessness sometimes is the emotion that comes forth. But if there was ever a moment in the history of our great nation, this is a moment we cannot fall into that despair. We cannot fall into that hopelessness. Like never before, we have got to fight back. So what does that mean? What are we doing? In order to go forward, we got to know where we are and how we got here. So let me start off by telling you what I think many of you know. And that is, never before in American history, never before, have so few people held so much wealth and so much power. That's the reality. Today in American history, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had in the history of our country. All right, I'm sure the kids right here in this high school probably learning about the Gilded Age. Remember the Gilded Age? The Rockefellers and the Carnegies and all those guys? Tremendous wealth, tremendous power. Nothing compared to where we are today. Nothing to applaud about. Boo is the right result. All right? Today, and I want you to hear this because you don't hear it on TV. And you don't hear it much in the halls of Congress. The top 1% in America, top 1%, owns more wealth than the bottom 93%. Got that? And you want to hear something even more insane? I mean, this is really crazy. And what's crazy is very few of us talk about it. One man, our good friend, Mr. Musk. Mr. Musk himself is now worth close to $800 billion, which is more wealth than the bottom 53% of American households. Can you imagine that? One guy owning more wealth than about a half of American households. CEOs, large profitable corporations, now make 350 times what the average worker makes. And the gap between the very, very rich and everyone else is growing wider. Last year alone, after receiving the largest tax breaks in history, fewer than 1,000 billionaires in America became $1.5 trillion richer. How's that? Doing pretty good? And over the last 50 years, and this is important to know, because this trend didn't start yesterday. Over the last 50 years, there has been a $79 trillion redistribution of wealth from the bottom 90% to the top 1%. Okay? So that's what's going on with income and wealth inequality. Never been more obscene than it is today. But that's not all. Today we have more concentration of ownership in our economy. You know what that means? In every sector of the economy, financial services, agriculture, transportation, you got a handful of very, very large corporations are able to engage in monopolistic activities and charge us much higher prices than we should be paying. Unbelievably, I want you to hear this, 4 Wall Street firms, BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, and State Street, combined, are the major stockholders in more than 95% of our corporations. And here's something else that we don't talk enough about. When we talk about concentration of ownership, talk about media ownership. In the United States, 6 large media conglomerates control about 90% of what the American people see, hear, and read. Think about it for a moment. Why does Elon Musk own Twitter? Why does Jeff Bezos own the Washington Post and Twitch? Mark Zuckerberg owns Meta, which includes Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Threads. Rupert Murdoch owns Fox News, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Post. Larry Ellison, another multi-zillionaire, owns CBS, TikTok, Paramount Pictures, Skydance, MTV, and is on his way to acquiring CNN. In America today, it is not just income and wealth inequality, it's not just concentration of ownership, it's not just ownership of the media. What our billionaire friends are now aggressively trying to do is to take over our entire political system as well. As a result of the disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, billionaires are now legally able to start super PACs, spend as much money as they want on those super PACs to defeat the candidates who stand for the working class and support those who represent billionaires. Now, I am an old-fashioned conservative, and I believe in democracy, one person, one vote, not billionaires buying elections. And what that means, my friends, look, I love democracy, I really do. It's how we grow. You disagree with me? Great, argue with me. You want to run for office? Fantastic. But what is not right is when candidates have to go out to wealthy people to raise money in order to run for election. So we have got to overturn this Citizens United. We got to move to public funding of elections. And by the way, we have got to demand that the Democratic Party get super PACs out of their primaries as well. So the reality of American society is that there are really two worlds out there. One world of people with unbelievable wealth, people who own their own private islands. I think Mr. Zuckerberg is on his way to owning his third yacht. These guys don't go to movies on Saturday night. They take their spaceships up to wherever they're going for fun. All right? They have weddings. They don't get married in the local church. They go to Italy and they spend $50 million on a wedding. They live in another world. That's one world in terms of where we are as an American society. And yet there is another world. And that is the world that the people in Detroit, the people in Vermont, ordinary people all over this country are living in. And it is a very different world than the billionaire world. And again, this is an issue that we don't talk about either. All right, so let's talk about it just a little bit. Everybody in the world knows, I mean, it's not a great debate, the future of America is with our children, correct? Anybody who loves America has got to love our kids. And yet, the United Nations does, I think, an annual report, and they look at child poverty rates among developed countries. Okay? They look at all the countries around the world. In fact, they look at 36 countries. Now, the good news is, and I say this with really pain, not being facetious here, the so-called good news is that of the 36 countries that the UN looked at, the United States was not in last place. We were in next to last place. We were number 35 out of 36 countries in terms of the child poverty rate in America. How disgraceful is that? In terms of our kids, it's not only the high rate of childhood poverty that we have. Every psychologist in the world knows that 0 through 4 are the most important years of intellectual and emotional development. Am I right? All right. So understanding that, it means that you want to have wonderful child care facilities, right? Where great teachers are providing the kind of support that the little ones need, where parents can afford to send their kids to quality child care, right? That's what we want, that's what we need, but believe me, that is not what we have. We have a dysfunctional child care system. In terms of our public schools, K through 12, all over the country, Detroit, Vermont, we are struggling. We are struggling to pay teachers the kind of salaries they deserve. And when we talk about education, just step back and think about the insanity that in a highly competitive global economy, millions of our young people from working class homes are going into debt in order to get a higher education. But it's not only the kids who in the wealthiest country on earth we treat shabbily. Today, one would think that in a great nation we would honor our parents and grandparents, right? They're the folks who raised us. They're the people who built the economy, the people who fought in wars to defend democracy. But in America today, quite unbelievably, at a time when the richest people have never had it so good, 1 in 3 older adults are economically insecure. In America today, if you can believe it, over 20% of seniors are trying to get by on $15,000 a year or less. That is, and listen to this, according to the National Council on Aging, older Americans who live in poverty die nearly 9 years earlier than their wealthier peers. In other words, poverty is a death sentence, and many of our seniors are living in poverty. But it's not just how we treat our children and how we treat our older people. The working class of this country, the vast majority of our people, are going nowhere in a hurry. People on rich, people on top, never had it so good. Working class going nowhere in a hurry. Despite an explosion in technology, it's important you hear this as well. Over the last 50 years, everybody here knows, every worker here knows there's been an explosion in technology, correct? That means every worker today is producing more than somebody doing a similar type job 50 years ago. If you are producing more, you would think that you are earning more, correct? That ain't the case. In fact, over the last 52 years or so, real inflation accounted for wages for the average worker is lower today than it was back then. And I'll tell you something else, and I say this to the young people. I want you to hear this. 40 or 50 years ago, it was not uncommon, if you grew up in a working class family, as I did, that there would be one breadwinner in the family, in those days, most often the man, who could earn enough money to pay the bills. Older people, you remember that? For younger people, it's hard to believe. So today, in the richest country in the history of the world, where workers are producing more and more in the vast majority of homes, both mom and dad have got to go out and work to pay the bills. While the billionaire class in our country has never had it so good, over 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. Why do I think I don't have to explain to the people here what living paycheck to paycheck is about? I grew up in a family who lived paycheck to paycheck. Many of you are living in families living paycheck to paycheck. You know what that means? You do know what it means. It means struggling every week, figure out how we're going to feed the family, how we're going to pay the rent or the mortgage. God forbid somebody in the family gets sick, how we're going to pay the doctor bill. Car breaks down, how are you going to get the car fixed in order to get to work? And if you can't get to work, what happens? Etc. And by the way, do you know what that stress does to working people? It kills them. Doctors talk about the physiology of poverty. It impacts your cardiovascular system. It impacts your mind as well. And by the way, according to The Economist, if we do not get our act together, as bad as the current economic situation is, it will be worse for our kids. So what the hell is going on? Why are we living in a society where workers are producing more and more, and virtually all of that income and wealth is going to the top 1%? And that is precisely why we need people like Abdul in the U.S. Senate. And here is the main point that I want to make to you. Status quo politics is no longer good enough. There may have been a time when nibbling around the edges, tinkering around the edges was okay. That is not today. Today we need boldness. Today we need courage. Today we have folks who are going to take on the Musks of the world, to take on the political establishment. And our job as progressives is not just to take Donald Trump on every single day. We've got to do that, but we have got to do more. We got to transform the Democratic Party into a party of working families who are going to stand up and fight for ordinary Americans. But it's not just Trump's authoritarianism, his pathological lying, his kleptocracy, etc., that we have got to oppose. It's not just the fact that while the middle class is struggling, this guy gave $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%. And then threw 15 million Americans off the health care they need. But it's also a foreign policy which has been a total disaster. Let us be honest. Important to understand this, not a new phenomenon. The American people were lied to about the war in Vietnam, which was devastating to my generation. 59,000 young men died in that war, in a war that never should have been fought. The American people were lied to about the war in Iraq. And as a then congressman from Vermont, I went to too many funerals of young 18, 19, 20-year-old kids who died in Iraq. And today we are being lied to about the war in Iran. This is a war that was started by Trump and his partner, Mr. Netanyahu of Israel. This is a war that is unconstitutional. This is a war that is in violation of international law. Countries do not have the right, unprovoked, to bomb another country. That's what leads to international anarchy. And this terrible war, has already caused thousands and thousands of deaths, including a lot of women and children and civilians in Iran, in Lebanon, and in Israel. And this war must end immediately. And on a related note, I'm happy to tell you that we have begun making some progress on ending U.S. military aid to the extremist government in Israel. When we began that effort last year, we had just 11 votes. Then we went up to 27 votes, and a few weeks ago, 40 Democrats voted against U.S. military aid to Israel. I understand, and my wife always tells me that I got to give out Prozac when I speak. Everybody leaves totally depressed. It's been going on for years. So I want to give you some good news. You ready for some good news? All right, we need some good news. First of all, as Rashida Tlaib will tell you, over the last 6-8 years, we have elected dozens of great members of Congress. Strong progressives who are standing up and fighting for the working class. And I certainly hope that Donovan McKinney will join that group. And I want to give you some more good news. It's not just that we've had success electing great members of Congress all across the country. Think about what's happened in the last 6 months. There's a guy named Zohran Mamdani. Anyone ever hear of him? I want you to hear this. Zohran Mamdani started his campaign for mayor of New York City at 1% in the polls. Got it? He was opposed by the entire Democratic establishment. He was obviously opposed by the Republican establishment. He was opposed by the President of the United States. He was opposed by every oligarch in New York City. But you know what Mamdani did? He put together a grassroots movement in New York City of 100,000 volunteers who were prepared to knock on doors. And I don't care how much money the other folks have, when you got 100,000 people knocking on doors, whether it's New York or Michigan for Abdul, there ain't nobody gonna beat you. They got the money. We're never gonna compete with that. And they don't like Abdul, by the way, in case you haven't noticed that, for a lot of reasons. All right, they got the money, but if we mobilize the people, we win. And it's not just what happened in New York City. A few weeks ago, a good friend of mine helped me out in a presidential campaign, Analilia Mejia. Analilia was a labor organizer, grassroots activist. She ran for the U.S. Congress. Almost nobody, very few people in the district knew who she was. She took on the entire establishment. She put together a strong grassroots movement. Analilia Mejia is now a congresswoman from New Jersey. And it's not only in urban areas, it's not only in suburban areas, in very, very rural Maine, one of the most rural states in the country. Democratic establishment did not like Graham Platinum. I like Graham Platinum. You like Graham Platinum. The big money interests do not like Graham. But you know what Graham did? He ran all over the state. He had meetings just like that, bringing out hundreds of people in tiny towns, standing up to the oligarchs, talking about the needs of the working class. And you know what happened last week? The establishment candidate dropped out. Tell you what else is going on. At a time when the billionaires are becoming richer and their, in many cases, effective tax rate is lower than a truck driver or a nurse, just an average person, people all over this country are saying, you know what? Maybe these billionaires should start paying their fair share of taxes. And in California, some of our union brothers and sisters managed to get well over 1 million signatures to put on the ballot there a tax on billionaires. And the last poll that I saw has that tax winning 2-1. Which makes the billionaires there very, very unhappy. All right, let me just finish by telling you what you already know. What do demagogues like Trump do? What's their modus operandi? What's their... What they do is they understand that if they can divide people up, they always win. That's the game plan. Trump didn't invent it. It's gone on for years. You find a small minority of people who are politically powerless, and you tell the American people, or any place, people in Europe, those are your enemies. All right, you're going to have a problem with housing or health care. Those people are your enemies. And it's hard to keep up with Trump's enemies. Every day there's a new one added. I'm not sure if we're supposed to hate the Chinese or the Iranians, or the trans people, or undocumented people, or the people in Canada, or Mexico. Very hard to keep up. But basically what he wants to do is divide us up. So we're hating each other. That's what they want. And what our job is to do exactly the opposite. Our job is to bring people together around an agenda that works for all, not just the few. And let me tell you that the agenda that we are talking about, and I know Abdul mentioned it, is not a radical idea. You know, the right wing and the oligarchs, oh, Bernie is so radical. Truth is, everything we talk about has the support of a strong majority of the American people. It is not a radical idea to say that the United States should join every other major country on earth and guarantee health care to all. And by the way, one of the especial reasons I want Abdul in the Senate is because he is a doctor. And he knows firsthand how broken this system is. It is not a radical idea to say that when you get old, you should retire with dignity. Expand Social Security benefits by lifting the cap on taxable incomes. Not a radical idea to say that if you work 40 hours a week, you should not be living in poverty. Raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $20 an hour. Not a radical idea to say we should not be spending $1.5 trillion on the military. Let's cut military spending and invest in low-income and affordable housing. Let's make sure that we have the best educational system from child care to graduate school in the world. Now, the oligarchs want you to think that what I'm talking about is unachievable. It's utopian. It can't be done. That's what they want you to believe. And if you believe that, we become pathetic, we become powerless, we do nothing. We have got to understand that as human beings, we are entitled to certain fundamental rights. and in the richest country on earth, we can achieve those rights. So, brothers and sisters, this is a unique moment. It's a pivotal moment in world history. I didn't even get into the whole issue of artificial intelligence and robotics and the implications of that, which are extremely profound. Bottom line there is AI and robotics have got to benefit workers, not just the billionaires who own the industry. So we have got a lot on our table, and we can do it. If we stand together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. Let's go out and do it. Let's transform this country. Let's make sure that Abdul becomes the next U.S. Senator from Michigan. Thank you.